The following is a DW Ancient Egypt production. During King Teti's reign, from 2345 to 2333 BC, he traded with Byblos and Nubia and continued to build at Saqqara. It is unknown if trade expanded during the 6th dynasty, or if they just left better preserved records than the previous rulers. What is known is that the mastabas of the nobility began to rival the pharaohs' pyramids. A good example is the 32-room mastaba of Teti's vizier and son-in-law, Mieroop. This is the largest mastaba tomb in Saqqara, which contains excellent wall reliefs of daily life. He even has the previously discussed hippopotamus hunt, which is the highlight of the artwork. This apparent increase in nobility wealth will eventually spark the total collapse of the Old Kingdom. Excavations of Teti's pyramid complex have revealed a satellite pyramid, 2 pyramids of queens, accompanied by cult structures, and a funerary temple. The orientation of the pyramid is not aligned with the 4 cardinal points. However, the proportions and plan of the pyramid follow exactly the same pattern as that of the pyramid of Saqqara. Teti's pyramid had a height of about 172 feet, but now all that remains is mostly rubble. Like other pyramids of the time, it consisted of a step pyramid-style core faced with white limestone that gave it the appearance of a smooth-sided pyramid. Also, like many pyramids of the time, the facing stones were plundered, leaving the core to break down due to exposure. Like that of Pharaoh Unas, the walls of the antechamber and burial chamber were inscribed with pyramid texts. The vaulted ceiling was also a painted canopy of stars. The basalt sarcophagus was left intact, and there were fragments of what may have been his mummy recovered inside. The pyramid was opened by Gaston Maspero in 1882. Little remains of Teti's mortuary temple, although there is enough to tell that there were a few differences from that of Unas, whose designs he otherwise closely followed. For one, Teti favored the plain square pillars common to pyramid complexes dating from the 4th dynasty, rather than the more modern round pillars. He also changed the approach of the causeway to the mortuary temple so that rather than lining up with the center of the eastern wall of the pyramid, it angled away from the southeast. In another apparent nod to the traditions of the 4th dynasty, Teti had queen's pyramids built for his wives within his pyramid complex. A valley temple, now lost, was probably destroyed in antiquity due to an Anubis temple constructed at the location later in the Old Kingdom. Manetho records that Teti is murdered by his bodyguard. The throne passes to a shadowy figure named Saqqara, who ruled Egypt as the 2nd pharaoh of the 6th dynasty for 1 to 5 years. Saqqara's relation to his predecessor Teti and successor Pepi I is unknown, and his reign remains puzzling. He may have been a legitimate short-lived ruler or a regent who ruled during Teti's son Pepi I's childhood before his ascension to the throne. The tomb of Saqqara has not yet been identified, either because it was never finished or because Pepi I erased traces of his predecessor's rule. If the tomb was indeed started, Egyptologists assume that it should be located in South Saqqara. Teti's son Pepi I comes to the throne at a very young age and will rule for about 50 years.